Good afternoon, students. Hello, am I audible?
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Right. Welcome to the last day of our lecture series. How was the exam? How was the CAT exam? Was that difficult or easy? Hello, are you all there? Mihirani, uh, how's the CAT exam? Was it good or bad?
Good, ma'am.
Good. Right. So you wrote all questions.
Yes,
Yeah. Aisha, how about the CAT exam?
Good, madam.
Yeah, right. So hope everyone done the exam and we came to the last day of our lecture series. So today I'll be discussing the final exam structure and the areas you should focus for your final object-oriented programming. And I'll discuss a small theory part, as I told you earlier. With my previous session, I told you we have a small theory part to cover. That's not much a big part, so I have a small part to cover. So with that, we can start the today's session. So let me share the screen and I would like to start the session with that theory part because uh, I will ask some theoretical questions from this part for your final exam paper. So it's better to start with that part, otherwise I will forget to do that. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So here I have a few slides to share with you and discuss this thing. So now you know different types of data. When we work with programming, when we do programming software development, we use different types of data. So can someone tell me the data types that we have covered so far? Any ideas? What are the data types that we have discussed?
String,
Yes, good.
int,
Int. Any other data types? Yes, we have discussed different types of data. If I give you a few examples, we have discussed string. Whenever we want to work with words, few words, we usually work with string type of data. And then we have uh, numbers. When it comes to numbers, the most popular data type we use for number is integer. And then we have float, we have characters for character type inputs, and then we have Boolean values. So like that, we have different types of data when it comes to computing and all. So here what we are going to do is we are going to try convert one data type into another type. There are some situations we have to do this thing when we develop codes. For an example, you request integer type data, but you want to give the output as float. So if you are in that kind of situation, then you have to do a small data conversion. You're converting one type of data into another type. So this is what we call as data conversion. So Java is a strongly typed language. We have to type everything correctly, and it is case sensitive. When you work with capital, simple, keywords, everything you have to consider about the letters that you all are typing and the way that you all are presented, because it is a strongly typed language. Or you can tell it in another way, it is case sensitive. Java වල ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි capital simple මාරු කරොත් ඔයාලට error එකක් එනවා. අනිවාර්යෙන් error එකක් එනවා. ඒකට reason එක Java compile කරන්නේ capital කියන දේ වෙනම අකුරක් විදියට, simple කියන දේ වෙනම අකුරක් විදියට. දැන් ඔයා integer කියන එක variable එකක් එක්ක simple I වෙනුවට capital I දුන්නොත් error එකක් එන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ compile එක වෙන විදියකට තමයි ගන්න. ඒ නිසා එයාට ඒක confuse වෙලා error එකක් තමයි ඔයාට output එක විදියට හම්බෙන්නේ. මම රෙකෝඩින් එකේදී ඒ කියන්නේ ගිය සතියේ මිස් වෙච්ච පාර්ට් එකට රෙකෝඩින් එකක් ෂෙයා කරා. ඒකෙදි මම ඔයගලන්ට එක්ක එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරා අපි ඉන්පුට්ස් ගන්නකොට අපි data type එක කන්සිඩර් කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි එක්ස්පෙක්ට් කරන data type එක ගැන අපි worry වෙනවා. එතකොට එතනදී අපි integer type එකක් නම් ඔයා expect කරන්නේ ඔයා capital I වෙනුවට simple I දුන්නොත් error එකක් එනවා. ඒ නිසා අදාළ තැන හරියට අපි capital ද simple ද කියන එක indicate කරන්න ඕනේ. So Java is that kind of language. It is case sensitive. We have to write everything in a correct way when it comes to Java. So as I told you earlier, there are some situations we have to convert one data type into another. So here I gave you a small example. Here we have a data type called short. And then I need to convert it to byte. So byte also a data type, but we are not frequently use that when we define those things in our code, but it is a data type. So here what I want to do is I want to convert short into a byte. This is possible, but there are some considerations you have to think. So throughout this module, my main intention is taking you through all these things and give you the proper knowledge. So when it comes to this data conversion, we have two types. The two types are widening and narrowing. So widening in the sense you're converting small type data to a large type. For an example, byte to short. And when it comes to narrowing, we have the other way around. You're converting large data type into small. So these are the two possible ways. And when it comes to the first type, widening, small to large, that's totally possible. But when it comes to the other way around, large to small, it's possible, but
madam,
little bit difficult. Yes.
madam, ගිය සතියේ lecture එක තියන්න බැරි වෙච්ච එකට OOP එකේ recording එකක් දැම්ම කියලාද කිව්වේ madam?
Oh.
අපිට එහෙම එකක් හම්බුනේ නෑ madam.
Mm.
ගිය
බලන්න.
සතියේ OOP වලට recording එකක් දාලා තිබුණේ නෑ madam. networking වලට විතරයි මේ දාලා තිබුණේ අර කරපු lecture එක විතරයි දාලා තිබුණේ.
ඔයගලන්ට කොහොමද recordings හම්බෙන්නේ? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ email through share කරනවද නැත්නම් YouTube එකට upload කරනවද කොහොමද?
madam Google Classroom එකට link එක share කරනවා. අපිට email එකකුත් එනවා.
alright. හරි. මම recording එකක් කරලා coordinator ට යවුවා. මම coordinator contact කරලා කියන්නම් ඔයගලන්ට ඒක අදම share කරන්න කියලා. මම ලොකු දෙයක් එතන explain කරේ නැහැ. මම inputs ගැන තමයි explain කරේ. inputs තමයි මට කරන්න ඉතුරු වෙලා තිබුණේ එකම practical part එක. ඒ කියන්නේ inputs ගන්න කොහොමද ඒව handle කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක මම එතනදී examples කීපයක් අරන් explain කරා. මම අද class එකේදී පොඩි part එකක් කරලා පෙන්නන්නම්. ඒකම තමයි මම අර examples කීපයක් අරගෙන explain කරේ. කියන්නේ inputs කියලා කියන්නේ අපිට හැම code එකකටම පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක කොහොමද වෙන්නේ කියන එක මම පොඩි example එකක් අරන් දැන් class එකේ පෙන්නන්නම්. එතකොට ඔයාලට ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන්. සහ මම coordinator ට කියන්නම් ඒක share කරන්න කියලා. share කරාට පස්සේ ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් go through කරන්න. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒක refer කරන්න නැතුවද cat එක ලිව්වේ?
ඔව් madam. madam
අයියෝ.
තව අපිට ඊට කලින් recordings වගේකුත් මිස් වෙලා තියෙනවා.
අයියෝ මං cat එක explain කරා නෙතන. ෂේ. අමාරුද cat exam එක?
average madam එකේ හොලක් උනේ නැහැ shape එකේ කරගත්තා.
කරගත්තනේ අයියෝ මං පැයක් විතර අරගෙන cat එක exam මට මේ අතරම තාම අසනීපයි මන් දන්නේ ඇයි කියලා දැන් 2 weeks විතර වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ කැස්සයි මාරම අමාරුයි classes කරගන්න මේ ගිය සතියේම classes කරේ නැහැ මේ classes කරන්න බෑ කැස්සෙනවා. ඒ නිසා තමයි මට අර එදා අපි උදේත් පැය 3ක් විතර කරානේ. ඒ නිසා මට හවස ක්ලාස් එක කරගන්න බෑ. කැහලා මට නිකන් වීසිං වගේ. මම ඒ නිසා තමයි කෝඩිනේටර්ට කිව්වේ අපි ක්ලාස් එක අද කැන්සල් කරමු. ඒ වෙනුවට අපි රෙකෝඩින් එකක් දෙමු කියලා මම රෙකෝඩින් එක යවුවා. අපරාධේ මම කැට් එක්සෑම් එකේ ඔක්කොම questions ටික explain කරා. අයියෝ. right කරගත්තා නම් issue එකක් නැහැ. මං හිතුවා ඔයගලන්ට මේ ක්ලාස් එක ඉවර වෙනවත් එක්කම links share වෙනවා කියලා. මං චුට්ටක් ඒක coordinatorට කතා කරන්නම්. ජනිත් එහෙමත් මට email එකක් දාලා තිබ්බේ අද ක්ලාස් එකට join වෙන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. මට මේ coordinator කිව්වේ ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක්ක share කරන්නේ tentative timetable එකක්ලු. ඒ timetable එක වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්ලු. දැන් අපි ගිය සතියේ discuss කරේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේ සතියේ classes නැහැ නිවාඩු කියලා timetable එකේ තිබුණා academic calendar එකේ. ඒ නිසා අපි සැටර්ඩේ දාගමු කියලානේ ඇත්තටම මේ මං කෝඩිනේටර්ත් එක්ක ඩිස්කස් කරාම කෝඩිනේටර් කිව්වේ ෂෙයා කරන ටයිම් ටේබල් එක ටෙන්ටිටිව් එකක්ලු. ඒ නිසා ඉතින් ඒකේ ඒවා වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා තමයි කිව්වේ. ඒ නිසා ජනිත් අද ක්ලාස් එකට එන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා මට ඊමේල් එකක් දාලා තිබුණා. ඊට පස්සේ මම අහුවාම කිව්වා කවුරු හරි එක්කෙනෙක්ට CAT exam එක මිස් වුණොත් එයාට කරගන්න බැරි වුණොත් හරි ෆේල් වුණොත් හරි යාට ඊළඟ බැච් එකත් එක්ක CAT exam කරන්න පුළුවන් මෙතඩ් එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. මම ලොකුවට ඒක වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක දන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයගොල්ලොන්ට එහෙම ඉෂුව එකක් තියෙනවා නම් කෝඩිනේටර් කන්ටැක්ට් කරගන්න. මට තියෙන දුක CAT exam එකට මම කරපු explanation එක ඔයගලන්ට හම්බෙච්ච නැති එක. හැබැයි ඒක average මම කොහොමත් theories ඔක්කොම cover කරලා තිබ්බ හින්දා මං හිතන්නේ ඒක ලොකු issue එකක් වෙන්න නැතුව ඇති. Right. So that's possible. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් exam එකක් කිව්වහම ඒකට අපිට ඉතින් lecturer ගෙන් ලොකු support එකක් හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. especially මම කරපු exams වල සමහරලාට අර ad hoc exams දෙනවා. class එක ආපු ගමන්ම exam එකක් assignment එකක් දෙනවා කියලා. හැබැයි මම practice එකක් විදිහට students ලට පොඩි support එකක් දෙනවා. මොකද දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් non IT students ලට සහ IT යට දෙගොල්ලන්ටම මේ වගේ modules ටිකක් complicated. එයාලා දන්නව වුණත් සමහරලාට paper එකට ඒක ගන්න තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා පොඩි සපෝට් එකක් විදිහට මම ෆයිනල් එක්සෑම් පේපර් එකයි CAT එක්සෑම් එකයි පොඩ්ඩක් go through කරනවා කලින්. ඒ නිසා තමයි මම රෙකෝඩින් එකේ ඉන්පුට් එකයි අරකයි දෙකම එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරලා දැම්මේ. I feel so sorry about that. I'll ask coordinator to share it with you. So now no need to focus about the CAT related thing. You can just focus the final exam and all. Right. ඒක තමයි කවුරුත් සද්දයක් නැතුව හිටියේ නේද? අහුවම ලේසිද කියලා. I was thinking about what's the problem and whether you did it correctly or not. So that's fine. Right.
මැඩම්
Launtika, anything to add?
මැඩම් මේ අපිට මිඩ් අසයින්මන්ට් නැද්ද මැඩම් මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් දෙකට?
මිඩ් අසයින්මන්ට්ස් ෂෙයා කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒවා හම්බුනේ නැද්ද?
තාම හම්බුනේ නැහැ මැඩම්.
මිඩ් අසයින්මන්ට් එක නම් මං හිතන්නේ මේ මිඩ් අසයින්මන්ට් එක ඔයගලන්ට දෙන්නේ 1 week එකක් අරගෙන ප්‍රෙපෙයාර් කරලා එවන්න නේද?
ඔව් මැඩම්.
මං already share කරලා
සාමාන්‍යයෙන්
තියෙන්නේ.
CAT එක්සෑම් එකට පස්සේ අපිට අසයින්මන්ට්ස් දෙකම දෙනවා. මේ පාර CAT
හරි.
එකත් අපි පරක්කු වුණානේ මැඩම්.
හරක් වෙලා.
අපි
ඔයගලන්ට
ඉතින් වැඩි
එක්සෑම් next
ලියපු
week නේ?
ඔව් මැඩම් නෙක්ස්ට් වීක් එක්සෑම්.
හරි. එහෙම වුණොත් කෝඩිනේටර් දැන් මං යවලා හින්දා තියෙන්නේ එයා දෙයි. ඒකේ සබ්මිෂන් එක නම් මං හිතන්නේ එක්සෑම් එකෙන් පස්සේ වුණත් ඉෂුව එකක් නැතුව ඇති. එහෙම නේද? ඔව්.
කලින් නම් අපි එක්සෑම් එකට කලින් ඉෂු මේ
කලින්
සබ්මිට්
කරේ නේ?
කරා මැඩම්.
හරි.
ඔව්.
මං එහෙම වුණොත් කෝඩිනේටර්ට කියන්නම් මේක පොඩ්ඩක් ඩිස්කස් කරලා මේ දැන් එක්සෑම් එකටත් පාඩම් කරන්න ඕන හින්දා එහෙම වුණොත් එක්සෑම් එකෙන් පස්සේ වීක් එක හරි ඒකට සබ්මිෂන් එක දෙන්න කියලා. මං ඔල්රෙඩි ඔක්කොම ටික යවලා තියෙන්නේ. මගේ ෆයිනල් එක්සෑම් පේපර් එකත් ඉල්ලුවා. ෆයිනල් එක්සෑම් පේපර් එකත් මං අද යවනවා. එහෙම වුණොත් මම ඒක arrange කරලා දෙන්නම්. දැන් CAT exam එක already
හරි.
completed. ඊළඟට තියෙන්නේ mid exam එක subject දෙකටම. මම ඒකත් එහෙම වුණොත් coordinator ට share කරන්නම්. share කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ආට කියන්නම් ඔයගලත් එක message එක share කරන්න කියලා. class එක ඉවර වෙච්ච ගමන් මම මතක් කරන්නම්. හරි.
හරි තේරුණා
Right.
මැඩම්.
Right. So we were discussing about data conversion. For final exam, I'm not giving any practical questions based on this, but you have to go through the theories. Some theory parts can be there. For an example, what is data conversion? So if I ask you what is data conversion, you should give the answer. Data conversion is converting one data type into another. අපි එක data type එකක් තව data type එකකට convert කරන එක තමයි data conversion එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. එතකොට data convert කරන ක්‍රම දෙකක් තියෙනවා. data convert කරන විදි දෙකක්. ඒ විදි දෙක තමයි widening, narrowing. Widening කියන්නේ small data type එකක් large data type එකකට convert කරන එක. අපි කලින් පස්සේ examples වල මම කියලා දෙන්නම්. Narrowing කියන්නේ large data type එකක් small data type එකකට convert කරන එක. මේ පළවෙනි එක නම් possible. හැබැයි දෙවෙනි එක possible නෑ චුට්ටක් අමාරුයි. මේ තියෙන්නේ conversion කරන්න convert කරන්න පාවිච්චි කරන techniques. Techniques තුනක් තියෙනවා assignment, promotion and casting. Right. So you have a small activity to do before I jump into the content. So I'll give you 2 minutes to quickly do this activity and give me the update. So I need your answers. The two questions are, what are data types? What is the advantage of having data types in a Java code? So I'll give you 2 minutes. Quickly do this activity, or you can directly type the answer in chat. Right. So I can see some of your answers. So basically, what are data types? When we do coding, we use data. We use different types of data. So when we use these different types of data, we want to give instructions to computer to handle different data types in different way. So for that we use these data types because in a particular code we have to tell computer this is the particular data type that we are currently use, and then your computer can easily manage the memory, allocate the space, the location and everything in a very advanced manner if we do these data types. So because of that, we are doing data types, and you can explain few data types that we all are using as I told you earlier. And the advantages are your computer can earlier understood what are the different data types that your computer will handle, and your computer can allocate the memory, and your computer can define the future things based on these data types and all. So that is a small refreshing activity. So now we come to these different types of data conversion. As I told you, these are the three technical ways that we all can do this conversion. We have something called assignment. We have something called promotion. We have something called casting. So this is the big picture of this conversion. So let's assume these are the data types we have currently. So we have byte, we have short, we have int, we have long, we have float, and we have double. So this is the largest data type. Double කියලා කියන්නේ largest data type එක. Example එකක් විදිහට ඔයා numbers 6ක් 7ක් digits තියෙන number එකක් ඔයා enter කරනවා නම් දශම ස්ථානත් එක්ක double කියන data type එක තමයි ගන්නෙ. Float කියන්නේ double වලට වඩා ටිකක් පොඩි data type එකක්. Example එකක් විදිහට ඔයා දශම ස්ථාන තියෙන පොඩි නම්බර් එකක්, ඒ කියන්නේ digits 3ක 4ක වගේ නම්බර් එකක් ඔයා define කරනවා නම් float කියන එක තමයි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. long කියන්නේත් ඒ වගේ. integer කියන්නේ ඊටත් පොඩි, අපිට දශම ස්ථාන integer එකකින් handle කරන්න බෑ. short කියන්නේ ඊටත් වඩා පොඩි. byte කියන්නේ ඊටත් වඩා පොඩි. දැන් මේ පැත්තට ගත්තාම පොඩිම data types තමයි මේ පල්ලෙහාට තියෙන්නේ. දැන් ඔයා මෙතනදි කන්සිඩර් කරන්න ඕනේ මේක. දැන් මේ ලොකු data type එකක් පොඩි data type එකකට convert කරන එක possible. දැන් හිතන්න double කියලා define කරාම ඔයාගේ computer එක හිතන්න යාට digits 7ක් store කරන්න location එකක් හදලා තියාගන්න. ඔයාට ඕනේ මේ double එක float එකට convert කරන්න. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් float එක මේකට වඩා අඩුයි. එතකොට මෙන්න මෙහෙම තමයි මේකට ලොකේෂන් එකක් සෙට් කරලා දෙන්නේ. දැන් මේකට කන්වර්ට් කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ පොඩි එක ලොකු එකට කන්වර්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් මෙතන හිතන්න ඔයාගේ තියෙන්නේ 20101. මේක තමයි ඩිජිට් එක. දැන් ඔයාට ඒක මේක ඇතුළට දාන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඕකේ අනිත් පැත්ත කරන්න ගියොත් ලොකු නම්බර් එකක් පොඩි නම්බර් එකකට කන්වර්ට් කරන්න ගියොත් සම්පූර්ණ මේකම මේකේ දාන්න බෑ. මේ බිඳුව දාන්න ස්පේස් එකක් නැති වෙනවා. ඔන්න ඕක තමයි මෙතන තියෙන එකම theoretically තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන දේ. අපි එක data type එකක් තව data type එකකට convert කරන විදිහ. පළවෙනි එක assignment. So let's go through assignment. So this is the example that I want to take you through. So here we have a variable called money. Sorry. Right. So here we have a variable called money. And here we have a variable called rupee. So the data type of this is float and the data type of this is int. So now you can see we have two types of data. මෙතන තියෙන්නේ float එකක්, මෙතන තියෙන්නේ int එකක්. Right. දැන් මේක 50ට සමානයි. මේකට value එකක් equal කරලා නැහැ. දැන් ඔයා මෙහෙම කරොත් වෙන්නේ මේකේ තියෙන value එක මේකට pass වෙනවා. right. දැන් මෙතන value එක කීයද 50යි. 50 pass වෙනවා මෙන්න මේ පැත්තට. මේ පැත්ත data type එක float එකක් විදියට තමයි final output එක එන්නේ. So I will explain this further. So let's assume this is the code. So we have float int $50, and then you are going to develop the conversion. So how you convert money equal to rupee, and then you ask to print money. So when you ask to print money, so it will print 50.0. right. So now here we have two variables, money and rupee. So they have not given any values for money, but they have given a value for rupee. So the given value is 50. So now wherever you use rupee, it is not that word, it holds the value 50. So now what you are doing is you are going to do the conversion. So this is how we do assignment conversion. When you put equal, it automatically converts that value to this type. So this is the first data type. This is the second data type, left side and right side. So when you do this kind of things, whatever the value you can see here, it will automatically convert to the data type of this data type. So here we have money. What is the value? 50. So it will pass this value to this holder. දැන් හිතන්න මෙහෙම තියෙනවා එක contain එකක්. right. මෙහෙම තියෙනවා තව contain එකක්. So now we have two containers. right. So now what is the value of this container? What is the variable of this container? This is money, the name. And here in this side we have rupee. So in this variable, in this container, we don't have any value. But in this container, we have 50. So this is how we write 50 because the data type is int. If the data type is float, we have to write it like this. එක float එකක් නම් දශම ස්ථානයක් එක්ක තමයි ලියන්න ඕනේ. හැබැයි මෙතන integer එකක්, ඒ නිසා value එක ලියන්නේ මෙහෙම. So now what you are going to do is you are equal these two. So when you see equal sign, you know it automatically converts this side value to this side. So now this person, what you are going to do, this person going to put this 50 into this bucket. But in this bucket, we can keep only float type data. This is float. So whatever the value you put into that bucket, it should convert to a decimal point. So it will take 50 and then automatically keep a decimal place. So then when you print money, it will give this as the output. That's the conversion. This is possible because integer is small and float is large. So when you convert small thing into large, then it's totally possible. So for those kind of things, we use assignment. දැන් මේ assignment කියන එක ඔයා ඉගෙන ගන්න මෙතනදි විතරක් නෙවෙයි. අපි data types ගැන කතා කරනකොට, variables ගැන කතා කරනකොට මේ assignment operator එක ගැන discuss කරා. දැන් ගමු x equal 5. දැන් මෙහෙම එකක් දැක්කහම ඔයා දන්නවා මේ පැත්තේ value එක එයා මේ පැත්තට pass කරනවා කියලා. මෙතන equal කියන එක තමයි තියෙන්නේ. equal කියන්නේ මේ පැත්තේ value එක එයා මේ පැත්තට pass කරනවා. හැබැයි මෙයාගේ data type එක වෙනස්. එයා එයාගේ ගෙදර යනවා නම් එයාට ඕන විදිහට තමයි ඉන්න ඕනේ. මෙයා float, ඒ නිසා දශම ස්ථානයක් එක්ක තමයි එයාට එතන ඉන්න වෙන්නේ. So we call this as the assignment. In assignment, what we do, we convert small type data into a large type. දැන් ඔක තේරුම් ගන්න එක ලේසි ක්‍රමයක් තමයි අපි හිතන්න ඔයාට බබෙක් ඉන්නවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් ගෙදර පොඩි ළමයෙක් ඉන්නවා. එයාගේ කකුල් ගොඩක් පොඩි. ඒ වගේම ඔයාගේ කකුල් ගොඩක් ලොකුයි. එයත් එක්ක කම්පෙයාර් කරලා බලනකොට. දැන් එයා ඔයාගේ සපත්තුවක් දාන්න try කරනවා. එයාට පුළුවන්. එයාගේ චූටි කකුල ඔයාගේ සපත්තුවට දාන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ඔයාගේ සපත්තුවේ ඕන තරම් ඉඩ තියෙනවා. මෙතනත් ඒ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්නේ. ඉන්ටිජර් කියන්නේ පොඩි data type එකක්. float කියන්නේ ඊට වඩා ලොකු data type එකක්. ඉන්ටිජර් එකක් float එක ඇතුළට දාන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ඕන තරම් ඉඩ තියෙනවා. ඉඩ ඉතුරු වෙන එක විතරයි වෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඕකේ අනිත් පැත්ත කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඔයාට පුළුවන් දර චූටි බබාගේ සෙරෙප්පුවක් දාන්න බෑ. මොකද එතන ඉඩ මදි. මේ assignment කියන එක අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ හැමතිස්සෙම පොඩි data type එකක් ලොකු data type එකකට convert කරන්න. Right. So this is assignment. මේක කරන්න හරි ලේසි. equal කියන එක දාන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට equal දාපු ගමන් එයා බලනවා මේක possibleද? ඔව්. integer කියන්නේ පොඩි data type එකක්. float කියන්නේ ලොකු data type එකක්. මෙතන හැටියට කියන්නේ integer එක float එකකට convert කරන්න කියලා. එයා ඒක කරලා ඔයාට මෙන්න මේ විදියට output එක දෙනවා. So then the second data type is promotion. So let's see this with an example. So here we have two variables, count and sum. Same as the previous example. This is an integer. This is a float. The two different data types that we are using here. And then we have another variable called count. The same variable. Count is promoted to float automatically if you follow this way. So you have a new variable called results and you are going to divide sum into count. So now what is the variable of sum? It is float. And what is the data type of this thing? It is int. And what is the data type of result? It is float. So now the result is float. So they will do the calculation. And then let's take the sum is 100. You have to write it like a float. The count is 5. This is an integer. So you divide 100 by 5. It is 20. But you have to take this float because this also a float. You have to pass it to a float. Because here also you have a float. Then මෙතනදි වෙන්නේ එකම තැනදී data types කීපයක් තියෙනවා. මම ඒකට පෙන්නුවොත් කොඩින් කියන. Right. We have a variable called sum. And then we have another variable called count. These are variable and these don't have any values at the moment. So now you want to do a small calculation. Because of that calculation, you're going to take a new variable. So now these are the three variables we have: sum, count, result. Sum is a number, it is a total, and count is the count. Then we have a result to get the answer. So now you have to do a small calculation. You take sum from here and then you divide it by count. So now what you're supposed to do, you have to do a small calculation here. So now tell me, we are going to do this thing with a small example. So let's say sum is 100. So if you enter 100, this is how it will store. ඔයා 100 කියලා type කරත් එයා මෙහෙම තමයි store කරගන්නේ. දශම ස්ථානයක් 1යි. They define it as a float. And then you give 5. Because it is integer, you can't give any decimal places. So now we have 100 here. And you are going to divide it by 5. So now you know the data type of this is float. The data type of this is int, and here also we have a data type. It is float. So now you can see we have two different data types. So now what your computer does, your computer check this and your computer think whether this is possible. Yes, we are going to convert this thing into this, and this is already the largest data type. So you do the calculation and you take the final answer as float. It automatically win. So final answer is 20. It will convert it to 0 and then it will pass to this thing. No worry, this is also a float. So that is how this promotion will work. So it check the current situation and accordingly it will do the conversion. So in this promotion, it promoted a float automatically. තියෙන value එක promote කරනවා float එකකට. Right. So all these, so when it comes to these three different types of data conversion, these two are very possible because in this two way, we convert small data type into a large data type. Right. And then we are going to do the third thing. So in third thing, what we do, we convert the other way around. We convert large data type into a small data type. දැන් මම අර කියපු ඉන්සිඩන්ට් එක ඔළුවට ගන්න. ඔයාගේ කකුල ඔයා දාන්න try කරනවා ගෙදර ඉන්න අර පොඩි බබාගේ shoe එකට. ඒක possible නෑ. දැන් මේ casting වල කරන්නේත් ඒ වගේ එකක්. අපි ලොකු data type එකක් පොඩි data type එකකට convert කරන්න හදනවා. So here when you convert integer to double, integer කියන්නේ double එකත් එක්ක compare කරාම පොඩි data type එකක්. ඔයා මෙතන කරන්න හදන්නේ integer එකක් double එකකට convert කරන එක. ඊට පස්සේ float to double. Float කියන්නේ පොඩි data type එකක් double එකත් එක්ක compare කරනකොට. ඔන්න ඔය වගේ දේවල් කරන්න යනකොට තමයි මේ casting කියන එක එන්නේ. දැන් මේක automatically වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ දෙක නම් automatically වෙනවා because it can understand this data type is small, this data type is large. So this can be possible, but when it comes to casting, it is not possible. Right. So cast is an operator in Java to convert money to int. So we have something called rupee, and here we have money. Money is integer, rupee is float. And then we have result. Result is float. And what you are going to do, you are going to do it forcefully. දැන් ඔයා මේක forcefully කරන්න යන්නේ ඒ නිසා තමයි මෙතනට bracket එකක් දාන්නේ. එතකොට අපි යාට කියනවා ඔයා මේකත් float එකකට convert කරන්න කියලා. So that is what we are doing in casting. We consider this as the conversion of large data type into small. So when it comes to that third type, we have two subtypes there. The two subtypes are, we have implicit, we have explicit. So when it comes to implicit, in there also it will perform automatically. But when it comes to explicit, it will do with a user request. Right. So here you have a small example to understand. So I'll show you this thing. So here you have a variable called x. And the value is this thing. So when you see this thing, you know this is not an integer value. This is a float. But you put here int. So then it convert this into int. So forcefully we write a code to convert this value to int. So when you convert this value to int, it will take 12 only. No need to consider 7 and 8. So then it will pass this 12 to this variable x. So that is what happened in this thing. And let's take this. So here you have 1.999. So this is a float. But you put here round brackets and then int before this thing. So then you are forcefully doing that conversion. ඔයා කම්පියුටර් එකට කියනවා ඔයා මේක convert කරන්න int එකට. දැන් මේක execute කරාම ඔයාට answer එක එන්නේ 1. මොකද අපි integer වල මේ දශම ස්ථාන කිසිම දෙයක් count කරන්නේ. So this is what we call as explicit typecasting. So you type the data type within brackets and then you do the thing. So here you have something called wrapper classes. So this is also a very nice concept. So I'll show you what is this thing. But before that, you have to understand the data types. So when it comes to data types, these are the data types we usually use in codes. We have byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean. So these are the different data types we use in our particular code. But we have a wrapper class for each and every data type. මේ හැම data type එකටම wrapper class එකක් කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. So when you type byte, it is the wrapper class of that is the same name, but you write it with the first letter capital. And then we have short. So for short, the wrapper class is the same word, but you have to write the first letter as capital. And then int. So when it comes to int, here the wrapper class of that primitive data type is integer. So you have to write the exact word and you write the first letter as capital. And then long, the wrapper class is the same name, but you write the first letter as capital. Then you have float. So you're converting into wrapper class, same thing for all these things, but the first character should be capital. For characters, we use char in data types, but in wrapper classes, we use character. So these are the differences you should understand when it comes to primitive and wrapper data types පාවිච්චි කරා. ඔය data types වලටම කියන technical නමක් තමයි primitive data type කියලා කියන්නේ. දැන් ඒව තමයි අපි මෙතෙක් කල් පාවිච්චි කරපුවා. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් code වල integer, string ඕවා පාවිච්චි කරා. මෙතන ඊට අමතරවත් කීපයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ ටිකට තමයි අපි primitive data type කියලා කියන්නේ. ඕකත් එක්ක wrapper class කියලා concept එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔය primitive data type එක අදාළ වෙන class එක. ඒවත් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඒ නමින්මයි. හැබැයි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට first letter එක capital. එහෙම නැත්නම් integer නම් මෙහෙම ලියන්න ඕනේ. character නම් මේ විදියට ලියන්න ඕනේ. So those are the two things. And we use this concept to convert primitive data type into a wrapper class. මේ coding වල අපිට situations තියෙනවා. Primitive data type එකක් wrapper class එකකට convert කරන්න. Wrapper class එකක් primitive data type එකකට convert කරන්න. ඔය convert කරන විදි තමයි මෙන්න මේක. දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ මේ ඔයා this is the class. ඔයා කොහෙදි හරි මේ full නමම දැක්කොත් integer කියන සම්පූර්ණ නමම දැක්කොත් එතනදි කතා කරන්නේ wrapper class එකක් ගැන. ඒ වගේම int කියන එක දැක්කොත් එතන තියෙන්නේ primitive data type එක. ඔයා මෙතන object එකක් create කරනවා. ඒකට value එකක් assign කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකට අදාළ wrapper class එකට connect කරනවා. අපි මේ process එකට auto boxing කියනවා. අනිත් පැත්තට primitive data type එකක් wrapper class එකට convert කරන process එකට unboxing කියලා කියනවා. මම නිකන් code එක දැම්මේ මේක exam එකට අහන්නේවත් එහෙම test කරන්න තරම් මෙතන ලොකු දෙයක් නෑ. මෙතන තියෙන්නේ theory එක තේරුම් ගන්න. How you do the unboxing and auto boxing. So auto boxing is the process of converting wrapper class into a primitive data type. Unboxing is the process of converting primitive data type into a wrapper class. Right. So this is the way we usually do that. And when you know that data conversion is impossible, I mean, if it is not possible, what are the not possible ways? If you are trying to convert large data type to small, you know it is impossible. You can't do that. So for those kind of things, you have to consider this method. So here we have a variable and the value is 10. It is integer type. And then we have another variable. It is float. So in this case, what you're supposed to do, here you have this second variable. Here you have the first variable. So in this case, you have integer type data here and you are going to convert this into float. So this is possible because this side we have a small data type. This side we have a large data type. So that's totally possible. And then let's take the next example. Here you have something called int and we have float. This is the value. And this case, what you're supposed to do, you're going to convert this to this. So here we have a float. Here we have integer. So now is this possible? No. Here you are going to convert large data type into small data type. But in this case, you did the other way around. So here you have a small, here you have a large. So this is possible. But here you are going to do it the other way around. So you can't do it like this. It will not work like this. මේ වගේ එකක් අපි ලියන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට possible නා. ලොකු data type එකක් පොඩි data type එකකට convert කරන එක possible නැහැ. හැබැයි පොඩි data type එකක් ලොකු data type එකකට convert කරන එක possible. ඒ වගේ තැනක මේක ලියන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අනිත් පැත්තට යනකොට forcefully තමයි කරන්න ඕනේ. අපි මෙයාට කියන්න ඕනේ ඔයා මේක convert කරන්න. දැන් මේ explode කියලා කියන්නේ මේ value එක 1.2345. ඔයා කියනවා convert කරන්න මේක integer එකකට. ඊට පස්සේ මේකට equal කරන්න. එතකොට integer එකට convert කරාම එයා ගන්නේ 1 කියන එක විතරයි. මේ ඔක්කොම ignore කරන්න. So these are some practical ways that you all have to understand how to use this conversion. Right. So this is another example. Here we have double. Here we have float. So in this kind of thing, what you all are doing, you are going to convert this side value to this side. මේ පැත්තේ තියෙන value එක තමයි මේ පැත්තට convert කරන්නේ. Right? එතකොට මෙහෙම කරන්න බෑ. මෙහෙම කරන්න පුළුවන් equal කියන එක දාලා මේ පැත්තේ value එක පොඩි මේ පැත්තේ value එක ලොකුයි නම් විතරයි. අනිත් පැත්ත කරන්න බෑ. එහෙම කරනවා නම් හැමතිස්සෙම මේකට ඉස්සරහෙන් brackets දෙකක් ඇතුලේ අර ඔයා convert කරන්න යන data type එක දෙන්න ඕනේ. Right. So this is the definition for boxing and unboxing. And some more examples to understand this process. Yes. So that's all about data conversion. දැන් ඔයා data conversion එකේ දැනගන්න ඕනේ බොහොම පොඩි දේවල් කීපයක් විතරයි. පළවෙනි එක, what you mean by data conversion. So data conversion is the process of converting one data type to another data type. Data conversion කියන්නේ එක data type එකක් අනිත් data type එකට එහෙම නැත්නම් තව data type එකකට convert කරන process එක. Data types data convert කරන ක්‍රම දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ප්‍රධාන විධි දෙකක්. එතනින් එකක් තමයි widening අනිත් එක තමයි narrowing. Widening කියලා කියන්නේ පොඩි data type එකක් ලොකු data type එකකට convert කරන එක. ඒක ඇත්තටම possible කරන්න පුළුවන්. Narrowing කියන්නේ ලොකු data type එකක් පොඩි data type එකකට convert කරන එක. ඒක possible නෑ. ඒක forcefully තමයි කරන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට මේකට පාවිච්චි කරන ටෙක්නික්ස් තමයි assignment, promotion and the upcasting. එතකොට assignment එකේදී promotion එකේදී දෙකම අපි කරන්නේ පොඩි data type එකක් ලොකු data type එකකට convert කරන එක. දෙකේම equal පාවිච්චි කරනකොට automatically මෙයාගේ data type එක මෙයාට pass වෙනවා. හැබැයි කාස්ටිං එකේ එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. මොකද කාස්ටිං කියන්නේ අපි ලොකු data type එකක් පොඩි data type එකකට convert කරන method එක. එතනදී අපිට අර equal දාලා කරන්න බෑ. අපිට මෙතනින් ලියන්න වෙනවා forcefully අපි convert කරන data type එක. right. ඔන්න ඔය ටික තමයි මේ lesson එකේදී ඔයා go through කරන්න ඕනේ. So you can refer this thing, you can understand and you can understand the basic theory behind this thing, right? So I'm going to upload this thing into chat. I have uploaded two PowerPoint presentations, one PowerPoint related to today's content and the next one related to the discussion I did in the recording. I discussed something called access modifiers. So please keep these PPTs with you, and once you receive the recording for last week's session, you will be able to go through that and understand. Right. So any questions from this part? Anything you want to clarify? Right. So I hope y'all don't have any questions to ask. So let me quickly start the practical session because I just want to go through how to work with inputs because I will check these things in the final exam. So I want to make sure you know the inputs and all. But in the recording, I already discuss this thing. But just to refresh you, I'll go through this thing quickly. And then I'll explain the other things. I mean, the final exam paper and everything. So let's go to file and start a new file. You can do this practical with me. And then go to file and then start a new file. So here, save your file as input Java 1. So you can copy the name because we need this name for the class. And then you have to choose whatever the Java folder you created in desktop or documents to save all your Java files. Choose your Java folder and then change the save as type to Java source file. And then you can click on save. Right. So you can start a class and you can paste whatever the name you copied from your file. And then here public static void main string args. So here this is the class you created. Inside the class we have the main method, right? So now today's intention is I want to take you through the inputs. So if I take few inputs, let's assume we all are doing a small calculator. So before you do the calculator or before your computer does the calculator, you have to give inputs. So what are the inputs you usually give? You can give numbers and then you can give operators. So like that, you can give things to the code. And then your computer will take all these things and your computer will proceed. Inputs කියන්නේ අපි userත් එක්ක interact වෙන්න, userත් එක්ක communicate කරන්න පාවිච්චි කරන දේවල්. Inputs ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි handle කරන්නේ userත් එක්ක communicate කරන්න. Right. දැන් මම ඔයගලන්ට explain කරන්නම් inputs පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ කොහොමද? එතකොට inputs use කරලා code එකක් develop කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක. Right. So here you can write import Java util scanner. So this is something new because handling inputs is not an easy task and it is not a usual task. Because of that, we have a specific library for that. So in this Java, we have things that we can easily do and everyone does those things. For those kind of things, we can use these kind of methods. We write the class, we write the method, we write the keywords, everything we can write. But in the same language, we can do some advanced things. So handling input is another advanced thing. මේ inputs handle කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ advanced දෙයක්. දැන් ඒක හැමෝම කරන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් ඒ වුණාට ඕනම කෙනෙක් එයා කෝඩ් එකක් ලියනවා නම් ක්ලාස් එකක් ලියන්න ඕනේ, මෙතඩ් එකක් ලියන්න ඕනේ, data handle කරන්න ඕනේ, data define කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒවා හරි usual දේවල්. ඒවා අපිට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කෝඩ් එකේ ලියන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි inputs handle කරනවා කියන්නේ ඒක ලේසි දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. ඒක අමාරුයි. ඔන්න ඔය රීසන් එක නිසා අපි ඒකටම තියෙන library එකක් import කරනවා. දැන් Java වල එහෙම තියෙනවා. Java කියන්නේ package එකක්. මේ package එක ඇතුලේ අපිට කෝඩ් කරන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙන දේවල් තියෙනවා. ඒවා තියෙන්නේ පොඩි පොඩි libraries වල. පොඩි library එකක් කියන්නේ පොඩි container එකක්. ඔයා inputs handle කරනවා නම් ඔයාට ඒ library එක ඔයාගේ code එකට import කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතනින් මෙතනට ගන්නවා. graphs වගේ දේවල් අඳිනවා නම් ඒකට අදාළ library එක මෙතනට ගන්න පුළුවන්. advanced calculations කරනවා නම් ඒකට අදාළ එක මෙතනට ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ එක ක්‍රම තියෙනවා. අපි මේවා කෝඩ් එකේ පාවිච්චි කරන. දැන් මෙතනදී අපි කරන්නේ අදාළ ලයිබ්‍රරි එකට කියනවා ඔයා එන්න මගේ කෝඩ් එකට ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්පුට්ස් ගන්න මට එන්වයරන්මන්ට් එක හදලා දෙන්න. ඔන්න ඕක තමයි අපි මේ ලයින් එකෙන් කරේ. දැන් ඉම්පෝර්ට් කරන ඒවා හැමතිස්සෙම අපි ඔක්කොටම උඩින් ලියන්නේ. ක්ලාස් එකට, මෙතඩ් එකට, data initialization හැම දෙයකටම උඩින් තමයි import කරන එක ලියන්නේ. මොකද ඒක throughout the code we all are using that. මේක තමයි අදාළ library එකේ නම. දැන් ඔයා graphs වලට අදාළ එකක් නම් මෙන්න මෙහෙම library එකක් තමයි call කරන්නේ. ඔයා ඔක්කොම libraries වලට call කරනවා නම් star කියන එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. සමහර codes තියෙනවා softwares develop කරනකොට libraries ගොඩක් අපි එකම code එකේ පාවිච්චි කරනවා. ඔක්කොම පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් star කියන එක use කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මම ඕගොල්ලන්ට use කරන්නේ scanner library එක විතරයි. ඒ නිසා scanner කියන library එක අපි ලියන්න ඕනේ. දැන් ඔයා මේක මේ විදියටම ලියන්න ඕනේ. මේක S capital, ඉතුරු ඔක්කොම letter simple. right. දැන් inputs handle කරනකොට පොඩි steps කීපයක් තියෙනවා follow up කරන්න. මේක තමයි පළවෙනිම step එක. ඔයා library එකට import කරන්න ඕනේ. library එක import කරන්න ඕනේ code එකට. library එක import කරපු ගමන් මේ library එකට ඔයා object එකක් හදන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැතුව එයාව මේක ඇතුලේ පාවිච්චි කරන්න බෑ. දැන් object එක හදන්නේ මෙහෙමයි. මේක තමයි library එකේ නම. හැමතිස්සෙම copy paste කරන්න. library එකේ නම copy කරා මෙතන paste කරා. ඔයාට පුළුවන් object එකට නමක් දෙන්න. object එකට මම මෙතන දීලා තියෙන්නේ A B C. ඔයාට කැමති නමක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් single word එකක් විදියට. equal new කියන word එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ අපි අලුතෙන්ම object එකක් හදනකොට. ඔයාට මතක නම් මම classes objects කියන concept එක කියලා දෙනකොට මේ new කියන word එක ඔයාලට explain කරා. මම ඔයාලට කිව්වා ඔයාගේ garage එකේ cars පහක් තියෙනවා පාට පහකින්. ඔයා මේක මට develop කරලා පෙන්නන්න. flowers පහක් අරගෙන මම ඒක demonstrate කරා. ඕනම object එකක් අලුතෙන් create කරනකොට new කියන word එක දෙන්න ඕනේ. මෙතන තියෙන scanner මේ තියෙන්නේ ආය class එක. within brackets system.in කියන එක දෙන්න ඕනේ. මේ system.in කියන්නේ system එකට inputs ගන්න තමයි අලුත් class එක create කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ scanner library එකට. ඔන්න ඕක තමයි මේ sentence එක behind තියෙන story එක. This is the library name and give a name for the object. Type equal new again the library name and then system.in and the semicolon. So now we did two things. We imported the library, we created an object, right? So now you all are going to take inputs. අපි user ගෙන් inputs ගන්න යන්නේ. user ගෙන් inputs ගන්න ඔයා එයාගෙන් question එකක් අහන්න ඕනේ. question එකක් අහන්න නැතුව input එකක් ගන්න විදියක් නැහැ. user නිකම්ම blank screen එකක් cursor එකත් එක්ක පෙන්නුවොත් එයා input එකක් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. එයා දන්නේ නැහැ මොකද්ද දෙන්න ඕනේ input එක කියලා. ඔයා මුලින්ම question එකක් අහලා තමයි එයාගෙන් input එකක් ගන්න ඕනේ. right. So if you want to ask a question එකක් අහනවා කියන්නේ or question එක screen එකේ පෙන්නනවා. So if you want to print something on the screen, if you want to display something on the screen, you use system.out println. So this time I'm going to display a small question. So let's ask, enter a number. So I'm going to ask a number, right? So now you can save this and then you can quickly open your command prompt and then we are going to check the output. Before you check the output, you should change the location of your command prompt. Type cd, keep a space, and then go to your Java folder. So I have created my Java folder in documents. If you created that on desktop, go to the desktop, open that folder, and from here you can copy the path. So once you copy the path, so you can see something like this on your command prompt and then paste enter. You know these steps because we already completed these things. Right. So now your command prompt is inside your Java folder. Now you can execute and see. Right. So first you can type javac because we are going to compile the code. To compile the code, we need the file name with Java extension. Paste the file name you copied and then type .java and then press enter. Java class name. So secondly, we are going to do interpretation. So to do the interpretation, you type Java and then the class name and press enter. So you can see the question. All right, that's working. But you don't have any space to type the input. So now, just after the question, we have to show that. Empty line with the cursor. Then your user know, now I have to enter a number. So we are going to do that. So to do that, we need this object. We take the object and then dot. Here you are going to type next because we need to clear the next line as the empty line. Question එකට පස්සේ line එක තමයි අපි empty line එකක් විදිහට හදාගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා next කියන word එක දෙනවා. මේ ABC කියන්නේ මම හදපු object එක. ඔයා user ගෙන් input එකක් ගන්නවා නම් මේ object එක through තමයි ඒක කරන්න ඕනේ. next කියන word එකට පස්සේ ඔයා දෙන්න ඕනේ data type එක. මෙතනදී ඔයා හිතන්න ඕනේ මම ගන්න data type එක මොන වගේද? This is the question. Enter a number. So if you're supposed to take an input integer from user, you can type int as here. So this is the difference. So you can see the difference. So here you're going to expect an integer. ඔයා user ගෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ integer එක. ඒ නිසා ඔයා මෙතන int කියලා type කරා. I is capital. Right? And then you're going to take round brackets and then press semicolon. And then you can save. So now you can check the output with me. Right. Again, we are going to compile. And then interpret. Enter a number. You can see now we have the empty line with the cursor. So now this is complete. So this is how we created that. So you can enter a number like this. So this is how we enter and ask user input. First you have to import the library and then you have to create an object. This is the object and you can ask a question. Just after the question, you take this object, dot, next, and you have to give the data type. So according to the question, you can decide the data type. So if you ask a float, you can type float like this. If you ask a double, you type double like this. And if you ask an integer, you write the word line. So these are specific words. You have to remember these words. Then ඔයා integer එකක් variable වල define කරේ මෙහෙම. හැබැයි මෙතන එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. මෙතන capital තමයි දෙන්න ඕනේ. මෙන්න මේව තමයි ඔයා මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ rules. Right. So now quickly do this activity and update me with your screenshot. I'll give you 2 minutes to do this, and then I'll show you one more example, and then I will go to the exam paper discussion. So quickly do this and send me the screenshot. I can see one answer in the chat, but please others do the activity and show me the output. I can see Anuttara has sent me the answer. Your answer is correct. Good. Right. And let's say y'all are doing different types of input. Let's say you're asking a name. So if you ask a name, you can ask it like this. Right. Enter a name. If it is a string, I mean the expected input is a string, you have to write the word line. For string type of data, we are not using the word string. We use the word line. And then if you're supposed to ask a float, so you know examples for float numbers. So the examples for float number, let's take weight, measurements, those kind of things we take as float. If it is a float, you write float as the data type. So this is how we usually work with different types of data. The only thing you change here, the data type. So I'm not going to take much time to explain this thing because I already explained this thing in the recording. So just that student asked me about that availability of that recording. Because of that, I thought it's better to go through this part. So I'll ask coordinator to share that thing with you. So please make sure to refer this thing and understand. So you can apply this thing for all your codes. When you do a decision, when you do a switch case, when you do a loop, for all these things, you can use this thing. So please go through this thing and understand this is how we handle user inputs, right? Any questions based on user inputs? I can see Kavindu's answer. Yes, it is correct. Good. Right. So it seems you don't have any questions. So I quickly go through the final exam paper, the structure and the things that I will focus. Right. So let me open a Word document. Right. Hope you all can see the Word document. If it is not visible, please let me know. Right. First, I'll take you through the structure of your final exam paper. Then I will explain about the areas that you should focus your final exam paper. Right. So for this question also, you have basically three parts, same as the INT, part 1, part 2, and part 3. So these are the three parts. So as usual, part 1 is an MCQ paper. So I will give you 10 questions. For each question, I will give you 2 marks. Altogether, you can get 20 for this paper. Right. So then I would like to talk about the areas that I will cover for this thing. Uh, so please go through the 4 pillars of OOP like that. So if it is an MCQ, I usually ask, what are the 4 pillars of OOP? So I will give you 4 options. You have to choose the correct one. The 4 pillars are abstract, polymorphism, inheritance, and the, what is that? Encapsulation. And for the next question, you should go through the statements. So I will give you statements so you can go through and you can understand what are those. Right. So this is the print statement. If you want to print something on the screen, so you should use this statement. So you should aware of this thing. So if I ask you, what is the statement you use to print something on the screen? So you have to write this thing or you have to select this thing from the given answers. So then you should go through the primitive data types. So today I discuss the primitive data types and wrapper classes. So the primitive data types are the types which we have used so far. So for an example, int, float, string, uh, boolean, and short. So you can take those things. So those are the primitive data types. So you have to understand this thing and please go through the primitive data types. There'll be a question based on that. And then if I ask you about the keyword new, so whenever we need to create a new object, a new thing, we use the word new. Please go through that. And then if I ask you to print the word hello world on the screen, so what would be the statement you use? So if you want to print this thing on the screen, you use system.out println, and this is the way you use that. Right. And then you can get the output as hello world. Mm. And then what is the library? Library we use to, what is the library we use to take user input? So can someone tell me what is the library? Today we did that. Students.
Scanner.
Scanner, exactly. So that's the scanner library. So please go through that thing. So there'll be an MCQ question based on that. And then please go through the 3 types of data conversion. So I told you we have 3 types of data conversion. The 3 types are what we call that assignment, promotion, and casting. And if I ask you what are the 2 ways of doing this thing, we have narrowing and what's the other one? Narrowing and what's the other one, student?
Widening.
Widening. Yes, widening, right. So please go through that thing. So there'll be 2 questions or 1 questions based on that. And then if you remember, we have discussed 8 features of Java. So we did this part in the very first uh, lesson. So we have discussed 8 features of Java. So please go through those 8 features, not like in deep things, just understand what are the features. There'll be an MCQ question based on that. So for an example, platform independent, and then object oriented. Then we have discussed about what we call as the security, all these things we have discussed. Please go through this thing. Then there will be a question based on that. And if I ask you who is the father of Java, any guesses? James Gosling. So James Gosling is the father of Java. Remember that there can be a question based on this thing. So please go through this thing to answer all your MCQ questions. Right. So then the part 2, as I told you for the previous module for internet network technology. So part 2 will be short answer questions. Short answer in the sense, no need to explain all these things deeply. I just ask you the question. You can take 2 or 1 line to give you the answer. So I will provide 6 questions. You can choose 5 questions from that. So for each question, I'll give you 4 into 5. You'll receive 20 marks for this set of questions. So in there, I will ask you what is object-oriented concept, and then again 4 pillars or the principles of object-oriented concept. So object-oriented programming is a type of programming where we take real-world problems into this computing world, and we will give solutions using computers and softwares. So the 4 pillars are abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and the encapsulation. So then please go through. I have discussed something called structured and unstructured. So I have discussed structured programming and unstructured programming. Please go through this thing and make sure y'all can differentiate these two. And then please go through these terms: object, class, methods. So I have discussed all these things in my theory lessons. So make sure y'all can explain these things with examples. And then please go through the first few lessons, theory lessons. These sections will cover those theories. And then when it comes to part 3, so in there, I'll ask you to write codes. So this is the most important thing. And I'll give you 6 questions. You can choose 4 questions from this. For each question, I'll give you 15. So 15 into 4, 60 will be allocated this section. Right. So let's take what are the areas you should go. So I will give you some sample codes. If you practice this thing, definitely you will be able to write answers for the practical question. Write a Java program to display your name, age, and address on the screen. Practice this question. So to display your name, you use system.out.println. If it is a name, you have to use double quotations. If it is a number, no need to put double quotation. If it is a single character, you have to put single quotation. So please check those things. Those are the things I will check. And then practice this thing. Write a Java program to check 15 is greater than 0 or not. So this is a small condition. You have to check this number is greater than 0 or not. So you have to develop a small condition and you have to check this thing. And then write a Java program to ask two numbers from user and perform addition, subtraction based on that. So you have to ask two inputs. So now you know how to ask inputs. So make sure you check the recording in there. I explained those things. I did this kind of examples in that recording. So please go through that and understand how to do this thing. So if we have time, we can discuss. I'll show you some sample examples. And then write a Java program to check a number is positive, negative, or 0. And then write a Java program switch case to print the day according to the number entered according to the number entered. Right. And write a Java program to print your name 10 times on the screen. So these are some sample codes. Please go through these things. Then definitely you will be able to do the practicals for your question paper. So I'll give you this thing. So leisurely go through this thing. I have uploaded the Word document. So if you want, I can quickly show you the answers for these practical things. So let's take the first question. So in the first question, what they ask, it asks to write a Java program to print your name, age, and address. Right. So I will take this one, same thing. Right. So if you want to print something on the screen, you write system.out println. And here, if it is a name or few words, you can use double quotation. My name is Nishadi. And then if you want to print a number, you usually write the number without double quotation. So no matter it has decimal points or not, you can just write it like this because your computer can understand these things. And if you're writing a character, you can use single quotation. And if your content is a mix of numbers and words, you can write it like this because it is a string at the end. So this is the answer for the first thing. So you can replace things with your details. So I'll give you the code in the chat. Please copy paste this thing in your Word document or wherever you use to document this thing. Right. So let's do the second question. Write a Java program to check 15 is greater than 0 or not. So now you have to check a number, right? So in that case, what you do, 15 is an integer. So first you have to initialize the value. You have to take a variable, pass a value, and then you can give a data type. And then you have to check. So if you have something to check, you write it like this. And you take this variable here. And now what you have to check? You have to check this number is greater than 0. This is the condition. So if it is greater than 0, you can write system.out println the entered number is greater than 0. And at the same time, you can develop else, the no side of this thing. So for that thing, you can write the entered number is not greater than 0. So this is the initialization. You have to initialize the value that you all are checking in the code. And then you have to take that thing inside this condition. And if the condition is true, you have permission to go inside and do this thing. If this condition is false, you're going to do this thing. So this is the code for second question. And make sure practice all these things. And you have the proper understanding about using conditions and all. And then write a Java program to ask two numbers from user and perform addition, subtraction based on that. The first thing you have to do is you have to ask two numbers from user. Ask two numbers. So if they ask you to take something from user, you have to import the library Java util scanner. As soon as you import the library, what you can do, you can create an object for that. So how you create object? You have to take the library and then you can give a name. Then you have to initialize the word new and then again library system.ln. And then you have to ask a question first of all before you take an input. So this time I have to take two inputs. So the first input I'm going to ask, enter your first number. So this is the question that I'm supposed to ask. So as soon as you ask the question, you want to show that empty line with the cursor. So this is how you do that. So if I ask you a number, it most probably an integer. For exam paper, if I ask you a number, don't take other data types because you will confused with that. If I ask you a number, please most probably go with integer if it is okay, or else you can choose any other thing. So this is for the first input. Sorry. I'm going to do the same thing for the second input, right? So this is first number. So this is the second number. And now I have to do small calculations based on this thing. So calculating in the sense, this is the question. And user typed the answer here. This is the question. User typed the answer here. So now you want to take that user typed answer. This is where user type answer. If you pass this thing into a variable, you can take that value to this calculation. So how you pass this value? If you want to pass a value, you put equal and you can take a variable. So now you can't write variable like this. You have to indicate the data type. So this is an integer. So you can initialize the variable like this. You can do the same thing for this thing. And this time I'm going to take B. So when user types something here, it will pass to this variable. Why we do this thing? We want to check the calculation. So now you can do calculation. So let's take sum equal A plus B. Sorry. Int sub equal, sorry, A minus B. Int multiplication equal A multiply B. Int div equal A divided by B. Int reminder, let's take. Reminder equals to A modulus B, right? So these are the all possible calculations. So now you can print. So how you print? System.out println. You can copy this 5 times. Right? First, we are going to print this thing. Now we are going to print this. All these things you can print. So I'm doing all these things fast because I know you all know these things. I have practiced all these things in my class. Right, so we can check the output. Right. So let's, sorry. See the output. Enter your first number. Let's type 10. Enter your second number 5. So you can see these are the calculations. So this is how we do calculations using user inputs. Let's quickly go through the next code. Write a Java program to check number is positive, negative, or 0. So in this case, you have to first initialize a number because you have to do a small checking part. Let's take 7. Then I'm going to develop the very first condition. Number is so if a number is positive, it should be greater than 0. If the number is greater than 0, we can print positive. And then you have to check another thing. So we called it as else if, right? So in here also you have a small condition to check. So in this case, what you're going to check, the number is less than 0. So you can't directly go for that else because here we have 3 things to check. We are going to check whether number is negative, positive or 0. So if both options are false, then you can take else here. So in that else, what you are going to do, you are going to print number is 0. So first you check the number. Let's see, number is 7. So now you know the number is 7. Is 7 greater than 0? Yes, then it will print positive. So let's change the number to -3. So now the number is -3. Is this greater than 0? No. If this condition is false, it doesn't have permission to go inside. So it skip these 2 brackets and go to the next available line. The next available line is this. Here we have another condition to check. Condition is this. -3 is less than 0. Yes, the condition is true. Minus value in the sense it is less than 0. Then it will print negative. So let's take another example. So I'm going to take 0. So now what is the number? It is 0. So is 0 greater than 0? No. Then we check this thing. Is 0 less than 0? No. Then we have this option only. We don't have any option. If both these incorrect, we have to print this thing as 0. Right? So this is how we check multiple conditions. The only theory we use is else if. If we have multiple conditions, the first condition is if, second condition and all conditions in between is else if, and the last thing is else. And then the next question. Write a Java program, switch case to print the day according to the number entered. So we already did that thing. So I'll do this quickly. Right. So here you're going to take A equal 5. So here they ask you to use switch case. So what you can do is you can use switch and then you can take A. You have to take A inside. Right. So now case 1. If user entered number 1, you are going to print system.out println. So what you are going to print? You are going to print Monday. So you can ask 7 days from user, 7 numbers from user, and then you can print the correct day accordingly. So this is for case 1. So if user enter case 2, we are going to print Tuesday. If user enter case 3, we are going to print WEDN Wednesday. If user enter number 4, we are going to print Tuesday. If user enter 5, we are going to print Friday. If user enter 6, we are going to print Saturday. If user enter 7, we are going to print Sunday. If user enter a wrong number, a wrong input, we use default for that. So if user entered something out in the range, we know if we ask user to enter a number or whatever, they can mistakenly enter different values. To handle those things, you can use the default. Right. So this is the switch case statement. Please understand the switch case statement. I did these kind of examples in the class. There'll be a question based on that. The last question, write a Java program to print your name 10 times on the screen. So how you do that? So you can take a while loop. You're going to take A. So let's start with 0 or 1. 0. A greater than or equal to 0. No. 5. Less than. Let's take less than 5. Let's try the code. Right. This is correct. So this should be the output. So you have to initialize the value that you are starting the repetition, and then you have to develop the condition. So here you start, here you end. And then this is what you're supposed to do. And here, this is the increment. So this is the code for the 5th question. So I have practiced all 5 questions with you. Please copy all these things into a Word document or keep these things with you and practice these things. Definitely, I will ask those things from you for the final exam paper. So if you practice those 6 questions, then no need to worry about. So those are the things actually I ask, the values and the way I ask could be different from, can be different from the model questions. Right. So any questions to ask? Anything you need to clarify? So when you write answers for object-oriented programming, so most of the time students complain that the time is not enough because you are writing codes and all, but make sure manage all these things with the time because the practice should be there. So no need to worry about capital simple. You can just write the code because this is not a practical exam. No need to get the output and provide screenshot. You have to just write the answers. Right. So do you have any questions to ask before I wind up the session? Anything need to clarify from me?
Madam,
Yes.
when about the mid assignment?
For mid assignment, I will give you a code. So you have 1 week to do that. You can do a research and you have to write that code and you can provide the output. That's not a difficult one.
Thank you, madam.
Any other questions, my dear students? No. Right. If you don't have any questions, then I can wind up the session. Thank you so much for being very good students for me and for the institute. So this is the 10th batch. This is the 10th batch I'm doing this module. So you all are the 10th group. So with this, I'm going to conclude our lecture series. So we have covered important things. We have covered important lessons, topics, practicals. So y'all can get ready for the final exam. Please take this week to practice. So I'm not giving many things beyond the things that I have mentioned in the discussion. Most of the time, I'll target all these things. Please focus on that more and try to provide your answers and everything correctly. So I no need any lengthy answers. I just need direct and correct answer. So make sure to write in that in a proper way, and then you can get the good mark, good grade for your exam. So, good luck for your final exams, good luck for your assignments, other modules, and good luck for your future. So, if you need to contact me for anything, for any higher education related help or whatever the thing, please use my email address to contact me. I'm happy to help. So, then I'm going to wind up the session. And yeah, so with this, I'm going to end the meeting and goodbye. Have a nice and great week for all of you.
Thank you, madam.